Imeanza.
So unaweza.
Unyongangi?
Yeah?
Unyonga.
Kunyonga si ati niliacha.
Uliacha kunyonga. You are a reformed man.
Yeah, man.
All right, folks. Welcome to this week's episode of Comic Diaries, episode 5. This week we bring you a proud member of the UDA party. A strong defender of the commander-in-chief. He's the government spokesman. No, seriously, guys, this week we have a great man from Laikipia. Yeah? I think he's one of the greatest artist development characters in our stand-up comedy scene. He's the founder of ComedyCulture. He's from Laikipia. He's the government spokesman. We have Maina, Munene.
Thank you. That's quite the intro, man. Thank you for that introduction.
Nimekuchafua kidogo kwa intro.
Yeah, this iko fiti.
Iko sawa.
I like it.
How are you?
It's proper.
How are you feeling, man?
Hata mimi nilikuwa naangalia nani huyo? Artist development.
Artist development ndio kwangi mbaya.
Thank you so much for having me, man.
Karibu, mazi. I'm glad you made time.
Yeah,
man. It's hard to get comedians or commit with time, man.
You guys are getting busy now, so it's understandable.
It's a good thing.
Yeah, it's a good thing.
Guys are focusing their time to do important things.
Yes.
Life inakutreatage these days, mazi.
Life is really nice. I used to live in Mukuru kwa Jenga.
Proudly repping Mukuru, mazi.
But I moved, my guy. I now live in Kitisuru. Okay, Wangige, but for purposes of this podcast,
it's Wangige.
Kitisuru.
Oh, Kitisuru.
Yeah.
Okay, so
yeah.
I feel like you lose that charm you had when you had.
Fuck the charm, my nigga.
Mukuru is enough to make edgy.
Fuck the charm.
Fuck it. We are growing. Karibu, man.
Thank you so much.
So the first question I ask everyone who comes in here is, who is Maina Munene? Like, tell us, who are you? How would you, if someone asked you who is Maina Munene, what would you say?
So Maina Munene is a kid born and bred in Laikipia. And along the way they were like, I think I'm funny, I make people laugh. And so that was the beginning of this journey. It's been an interesting journey. It has had its ups and downs, some wins, some health here and there. But I would say it's been worthwhile. It's thrilling, and for a kid from Laikipia, I would say not so bad.
Tell me something about Laikipia, Mazi. I don't know. I've never been to Laikipia. Any something I would know about Laikipia? Something interesting, just anything about Laikipia, how it was growing up there.
So Laikipia, it's a big county. So it has it has two parts. There's parts, the ranches, the game reserves and all that. There's a white side of Laikipia. There's the British Army.
Cheki kwa Walami. The settlers.
Yeah, Walami, my nigga. And so there's like the rest of Laikipia where it's like just normal people, and people farm.
Yeah.
Inaitwa subsistent farming.
Yeah, to maintain your living.
Yes. So me, I'm from that side of Laikipia.
Is there an undertone of anger to a resentment towards these guys with the farms who come?
No, not really, because I think one of the things that I'm grateful for is that upbringing makes me different. Like there's something about us when you're grow ya ocha, hawakongi na hiyo mentality ya everything is, like I understand it's an injustice.
Yeah.
But I am also grateful for what I have. So it's not like a threat. You having a big piece of land is not a threat to me. Yeah.
You're in a very mature way of analyzing and looking at it. It's like I understand you have the land, but you have a very.
And I'm not discrediting the injustice. Yeah. I'm not saying until this land has not been taken from communities. I'm just saying that instead of whining and just being this victimhood mentality, it's just like, okay, I guess.
Yeah. One thing about you, you're no one's victim, by the way.
Thanks.
That's one thing I learned from you, genuinely. But let me ask you, so why did you pick stand-up as an avenue? Because you're a stand-up comedian almost 4 years now.
Yes.
Why stand-up?
So initially I did set out to do stand-up. It was not like in my plan. But also looking back, I think stand-up was sort of like calling me. Because I was going through my photos app, Google Photos app.
Yeah.
And just like scrolling down to like 2018. And I have images downloaded from Pinterest for like a stand-up comedy set. Even before like I could comprehend what this was.
Wallahi.
Yeah, it's mind-blowing. So as much as I say like I did set out to do this, I feel like everything that I have done, every mistake, every move that I have made was indirectly leading me to this point unknowingly. Like now looking back, I'm like, okay.
It makes sense.
Yes.
So you had like images, information that we visualized before like you even knew what stand-up is.
Yes.
That's very, very...
Yeah, so how I end up here is, so that time I used to work in Nyeri. And I was a fan of the Daily Show. It's a late night.
In Nyeri?
Yes, in Nyeri.
Jana ulikuwa na testo.
In Nyeri, msee.
Check out Daily Show in Nyeri.
Msee. So.
Niko sure sana kwa like, Maina jo.
Yeah, so alafu I go on, I think it was Facebook then, and I see this comedy group called Stand Up Collective. And
what year is this? If you can remember.
Around 2018, I would say 2018.
No, this is when you're like, okay, go ahead. Endelea na story.
No.
So this is when you're like, you're planting a seed. I need to start doing some kind of stand-up.
Yes, and then it's not stand-up. It's, I feel like I have ideas that I, that could be funny, and this late night idea, this is interesting.
I can contribute in whichever way, in just a funny, just make something.
It makes something, create something. And so I see this page, and me working in Nyeri was very interesting for my comedy, because it used to be like a big community. It was like a big space that employed like 20-30 people. So, and they would feed us. The pay wasn't really good, but they fed us.
Typical Kenya.
Like, yeah. Kama kuna kitu hautaifanya hapa ni njaa. Njaa haitaiwa sumo. So they
utakula.
Yo, chicken, like it was like a proper feast.
You feasting.
Yes, so they bring like bread at 10 a.m. tea. There's all of this, like there's margarine, there's all these things. So it was like a proper feast.
You're feasting.
And so the staff canteen was like this place we would come. So it's like, now we are here.
Tumepatana.
So we had like my boys too. So tukikula msee tulikuwa tuna roastiana.
Now
nigga your shit wase walikuwa wanacheka wanalia. Like it was like one, I think I was way funnier during that period of my life than I am now as a stand-up comedian. It's unbelievable. So where was the story? So yeah. I see
a Facebook ad.
It's not an ad, it's a page called Stand Up Collective, and they do these cool things, English comedy, but no one gives a fuck. So they post photos and they get like 2 likes. And I'm one of the 2 guys.
Check 2 likes, one from Maina Munene. Now you can
Liko Nyeri, my guy. And I hope when you have Doug, I think he can collaborate this story.
Check it, Doug does my check it. We have some kind of engagement in Nyeri. We don't know.
Yeah. So I like and I interact with the content a lot. And then, but I've always wanted to come to Nairobi, because I understand anything that I want to do in life, I will not be able to do it in Nyeri.
Explain that kidogo.
So by this time, I used to write. I write scripts, write articles and stuff. So it got to a point I was like, I'm writing scripts, but I'm in Nyeri.
So it got to a point where ambition was a little too big for the space and the environment.
It was big for the small town.
Yes.
and I knew that for me to make it in the film industry, I wanted to be an actor. For me to make it in the film industry, then I have to be where the action is, and that's Nairobi. So in 2019, me I jump so the time I decided to come to Nairobi, I started looking for opportunities this side, and I get an employment opportunity in Nairobi. So I'm like,
before you even leave.
Yes. So I'm leaving Nyeri for Nairobi to come start a job. Okay. But this is so great because this is what I've always wanted to do. Have like a job in Nairobi and push this writing,
this creative
filmmaking, this creative thing on the side. And so that is what happened. So I come to Nairobi and I get the job. The job was nice, but I worked for a shitty person, so eventually it ends after 3 months. But I land another job in another, so just typical life throwing here and there. But so when I do come, there's a guy called Chipukizi, my guy.
Chipukizi.
Fuck that nigga, by the way.
Fuck Chipukizi.
Yeah, fuck Chipukizi and everything he stands for. And I hope you don't cut this part out.
Check Chipukizi, the views of Maina Munene and not the views of Comic Diaries.
So this time, Chipukizi is like the biggest shit right now.
Oh, he's blowing up.
So this is 2019. So he has a show on Hebrew TV. So
remember,
show,
is Hebrew still on?
I think they closed down, but they had like a really nice phase where they had really
they had a good run.
Yeah, they had good content. So some of it was cringe, but it was like
kazi inaendelea.
Game ni game. So Chipukizi is at Hebrew, and he has like the biggest show on Hebrew, and he's working with this kid called Katelo. Katelo is like on the up and coming, like now.
Yeah, Katelo is like throwing out shank to anyone who listens.
Yes. Katelo ama sijui nini mbogi niko mnyosi.
Yeah.
So okay, so nimerudisha nyuma kidogo, but long story short, Chipukizi leaves Hebrew and transitions to TV47. So during this transition, he puts out a call for application, like we're looking for script writers, we're looking for directors, we're looking for young people to come join this team. See me, I'm young people, my guy, and I'm in Nairobi.
Check it. Who is young people?
It is I. I as the young people.
It says young people. I'm young.
Nigga tunaingia pale Kenya National Theatre.
Yeah.
And I think that was the first time that I entered the Kenya National Theatre.
2019
sasa. Na nikauliza security naweza ingia niangalie auditorium tu. Akaniambia ingia
uone.
Manze niliingia manze, and I could feel this space speak to me and be like,
for real?
This, man, I'm not even fucking with you. Like it was just like a profound moment. Just for me being like in that space, and it's just like, yo, okay, I guess there's something for me here. And so time passes by. We were supposed to meet at 10 whatever, but it's 1. This guy hasn't come.
Are there people there?
There's like a shitload of people. There's like hundreds of young people. Some have traveled from Meru, my guy. So it's 1. And then this Mercedes Benz pulls up. It's branded, my nigga. The Chipukizi show. And like at that moment, I had not seen anyone brand a Mercedes Benz, my guy. So I was like, yo, this is it. But also it's sort of like a red flag that this guy didn't show up on time.
It's a huge red flag.
I don't like that, but I guess if you have a branded Mercedes, you get to get away with.
It's the same thing a man said. If someone makes money, they are right. Whatever they do, ako sawa.
So akakam and he says, cheki majama, nataka kuchange vile ma youth utafuta job hii country. And I think when he said that, I was like, yeah, this is some bullshit.
That is the biggest red flag statement.
So we won't even do the interview that you guys traveled here to do.
Yeah.
We will just create a WhatsApp group and everyone will be joined into that group. And the script writers can write the scripts, the directors can do, but I will use my platform to sort of like market or like push the products that you guys come up with, which is a bullshit idea.
Very.
And in theory, it's a great idea. But if you've ever worked in like a film set and understood how many people have to be coordinated to come together, then you would understand how impossible that decision is. The idea.
Plus, it's not the idea he sold.
Yeah, and guys were like, he said, I don't want some people to come here hoping to get a job and go home without a job. And we are telling him, that's the entire idea of interviews.
We know that, yeah.
Like I came knowing I will either get it or not get
Hit or miss, yeah.
I won't hate myself for not getting it, because that was a probability. It's like a 50-50 thing. But me, I tell him, so me, I raise my hand and I'm like, yo, I hear what you're saying, my guy. And I do not disagree. But me personally, I came here looking for an opportunity to write for a late night TV. So nakumbuka ile story ya Daily Show.
Yeah.
Una get?
I came here to write for
na hii show yako juu nimeicheki pale hii bro. Hii ndio show nataka kuandikia. Kaniambia bro, come man. So I'm like, okay, this is interesting.
All
so
right.
I guess I have a job now.
Okay.
So Monday naingia KNT, so we do rehearsals and a few more days, but we don't have like a one-on-one conversation on what this is. So I'm just there for the rehearsals.
This is on Monday now.
So this is the days and weeks after Monday, because I came and they're like, we're also doing it tomorrow and the other day.
So it's like wanakupea like a run around.
Yes. So when we are rehearsing, I give him the ideas and he uses them in the show, but I don't get credited and I don't get paid for it. So this happens 2 times and I'm like, yo, this is some bullshit, my guy. Yeah, so he says, actually, I'm in really good terms with the TP47 guys, and they said, give me a TV series. See, you said you're a script writer. I guess you go and write.
Si ulisema wewe ni script writer.
Nikamwambia say no more.
Say less.
Check me usiku nikiandika. So ndugu yangu nilimwandikia script moja maridhawa.
Usiku mzima kijana lali.
Nalala aje bro, na hii ndio dream yangu madhe na come true.
So listen, are you learning the hard way that Nairobi is like a weird place? Kwa sababu maybe wenye Nyeri, there's different, like kuna ile charm inakuanga ushago. People are not like blatantly danganyani au pimani ufala.
Yeah.
But Nairobi msana kama nakupima anakwambia come Monday.
Yes.
He's using your yani now are you getting annoyed with the whole atmosphere of Lumekam Nairobi?
I think there's something about Nairobi and how shiny it is that is very confusing. Especially for people who are not used to it.
Yeah.
But again, like I imagine people like you who've been born here, you know these streets. Like you've seen them 1,000 times.
Yeah.
And you know it's shiny, but this is not it.
Yes.
But me coming from like a very peaceful, silent
quiet
environment, or I don't treat people with suspicion.
Exactly.
Like I've up to this point, of course, I've like interacted with like office politics, but a majority of the people I've interacted with have not wanted anything from me. Like it has not been like a transactional.
Okay, yeah.
So at this point, I'm like, I guess it's something. And then it happens the second time, and I was like, okay, this is off. But now when he comes with like the idea of like the script, I'm like, this is so good kwa sababu sasa nitaondokea hii bullshit yake.
Yes, now nimejiseparate in a way.
So I write the script and he never reads it or just checks it out. And that is how I'm like, maybe this is not.
Yeah.
So that's a very long story to explain how I got into stand-up.
So eventually you cut ties, you're like, okay, let's say, let me
this
walk
is not
away.
it. Yeah. So I walk away.
Yeah.
And by walking away, sasa sinakumbuka wale wase wanaitangwa stand-up collective. Nilikuwa
wase wa FB mazi.
Wale wase wa FB. So each time so you know how when you follow something you're like, issue ni ya Dark Mutai, issue ni ya nani, issue ni ya Chinese, so I know like there's like a community here.
I know there's people there.
It's brewing. Yeah. And I know Doug runs stand-up collective. So I just DM Doug and I'm like, yo, I'm a writer. I want to diversify what I can write, and I want to write for stand-up comedy. So Doug tells me, So kumbuka Doug is like, this is the guy from the two lights.
So he remembers you from liking the pages and stuff.
Sasa husikii sasa
Haki ya Mungu. Kupanda mbegu ni kitu nzuri maze.
See, this is a guy from the two lights.
One line.
So he tells me tupatane Wednesday 2 groups. So I
this
pull up.
2019 still or 2020?
No, sasa ni 2020. So time imepita. Sijui you've been fired here. You've been hired there.
Unapitia mambo ya Nairobi.
Tu alifanya vile Nairobi ifanyia wanaume wakikuja wakijifanyanga vile wako na idea.
So ile idea Nairobi.
Nairobi kuna criteria hizo idea zetu. So we meet with Doug at 2 grades and I explained to him, this is who I am, this is what I do, and this is what I want to write for you guys. Me, bedhika kuna writer mnono. Mimi. Yeah. Kanime sasa, kuna shida. Kidogo tu.
Si shida kubwa.
La hii shida, hata si shida yako, yani ni vile tu mambo iko. Akaniambia, right now, we don't want writers. Like the scene, so this is the scene in 2020. So if there was ever a time that the scene didn't need writers, it was 2020.
Kama kuna kitu tutaki ni writers.
Aliniambia mazee writers, atu need writers. But and let's assume we needed them. We have like 15-20 comedians from guys we know
who write their own original material.
Yes. So if we wanted writers, we would probably just source from the
bunch
of people we have. It is like a solid that's like a man-to-man conversation of
logic.
This is how things are. But he told me, for you to be a good stand-up comedy writer, it would help if you perform. Because this is a performance art form. So if you perform, you know, this works like this.
Yes.
So if I say this, it works here and then. So he told me, if you are open to the idea of performing, that would be the best way for you to sort of like eventually
live out your writing.
Yes, so if you had a corporate gig and we knew you were proper,
okay,
we can be like, yo, come write, let's write. But for now, that is that. Would you be open to performing? So me, I had a cassette at the back of my sleeves, my guy. So
put me in, coach.
Cheeky.
Coach.
Nieke.
Where can you wear?
Panda stage.
Panda ju. Panda. So you're like, I'll go up. No hesitation. You're not like, oh, these people. You're not like, hakuna misgivings, hakuna apprehension. Umegwaya.
No. So by the time naingia pale 2 grades, I know what they do. And I know this is stand-up and this is what I want to do. But I don't know where I fit in this
ecosystem.
Yes. So I have some jokes that I've written that I know utu jokes wakaniambia ni perform naweza kuwa open to the idea of perform. So that is 9th December 2020. So I stepped on stage for the first time at 2 grades.
9th December 2020.
Yes. So yeah.
You're on a comedy stage.
I've answered your question.
You've answered the question. Umeleta full nini?
Yes.
So 9th December 2020 you go on stage for the first time.
Yes, I go on stage for the first time.
How is it? Like, how's your experience? Did you do bad?
I don't do badly.
Yeah.
I do extremely. No, not extremely. I do fairly well. Like I have like a decent set. You know the kind of set that you have where people are like, this is not the first time you're on stage.
So you're not afraid to stand in front of people?
No. Kwa sababu pale like Laikipia High School. So this is a very long story. But in high school, like I was in debate club, I was in drama.
Mali yote kuna kelele inapigwa.
So nilikuanga ile mtaa. Get. So of course I'm afraid. This is something that I had not done up to that point. But I went anyway and it went well. And so now so I'm introduced to Eric, who runs Punchless. Like, if you want to come and perform here, this is the guy. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I go home and I text Eric and I'm like, yo, you saw my performance. I don't want to waste time here. So if I'm not any good, tell me so that I don't like I was open to the idea of being so bad at it that I don't have to do it.
So nikaona self-sabotage kidogo tu, ama you just wanted someone to be real?
Yeah, like I come from a place of, Ebu tell me how it is.
Niambie tu kweli.
Hii shit as is. Unaget, but akaniambia manze, kama kuna kitu moja najua wewe ni comedian. Okay, which is something I learned. Maybe anaambianga kila mtu, but like at that point, really feel ni kama this is the sign that I needed.
Yeah.
And so I never looked back.
So you did a lot of your comedy also there in Punchline. You know, like some of your formative times
Yes,
as a
yes,
comedian.
yes.
Experience yako ilikuwaje huko?
In all honesty,
Yeah.
I'm very thankful to Punchline because Punchline gave me my first date. So I started in December of 2020. In March of 2021, I was on a paid show with Punchline.
Wow, okay.
So the transition as well was very fast from like just being an open micer to being like, this is a guy we can trust to
Stand in front of people who paid for tickets.
Yes, we paid for tickets. And so I did, like I murdered so bad on that show. Akina Eugene were sharing me on Eugene Bugua was there, Savara was there, the girlfriend Yvonne was there. It was like, yo.
This is like a huge boost to your confidence. You're like, whoa, I'm not expressive, yani. I'm finding a spot.
And you realize that it has happened in such a short period of time after I started, means that it's, if I was gonna quit, then now I'm not quitting. So it was like a thing that just sort of happened.
Yeah.
To just tell you, don't quit.
Don't keep going.
Yeah, keep
this
going.
is like a mark, like you're on the right trajectory.
Yes. Okay. And that went really well.
Yeah.
So
yeah. What's one thing you wish more people knew about stand-up comedy, just as an art form?
I wish they knew how entertaining, how it's just a beautiful art form. And I wish more people were open to the idea of just watching stand-up comedy, because you get to learn so much about the society within which we're living in, and even humanity. Like if you listen to 20 comedians, you will learn about the tone and the mood of the city or the country, or even like mental, where is this society at?
Oh, you can tell the pulse of the by listening to the comments.
Yes. So there's just something very profound about.
Yeah, people they're very hesitant to come and listen to comedians. Maybe it's something about our freedom of speech. You know, comedians don't nasemanga anything.
But isn't that the epitome of the fact that you can say anything? That's the whole idea of freedom of speech. And I'm not saying you will agree with me. I'm saying as a champion of freedom of speech, you should protect my right to say whatever I want to say.
I agree.
Even when you disagree with it.
I agree.
Yeah.
But I think it's still very new. I don't know, for Kenyans it's still not grabbing. They're like, why are these guys so free, so open, saying everything and anything about government? Maybe part of it is like maybe they envy our freedom, I don't know.
Yeah, we're just too free to fit into those spaces.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Yeah. It's a very new, like it's a new art form when it come out. I don't know, maybe we're ahead of our time. People are
yes,
quite
1,000%. We are ahead of our time, and that also comes with like those challenges of you doing something that people don't fully understand.
Yes.
So even by extension, you don't fully understand it
yourself.
So you're also learning on the go.
That's true.
And if you don't understand it fully and they don't understand it fully, then they're not patient enough with you to see you go through the process and have like a refined thing.
What would you say is like the most frustrating thing right now at this point about stand-up comedy, the scene, everything? That
it's not growing at the rate it should, I think.
The growth ni kama iko slow.
Yes. So unapata we're sort of like getting our audiences from the same pool of people.
Yes.
So the most frustrating thing is not knowing how to scale it up to reach different demographics, different audiences in different locations. So I think once we figure that out, then it becomes easier for you to sort of have systems and structures in place where you can just plug in whatever you're trying to do, and then that makes sense for you.
Ah, okay. So it's just like a wider reach.
Yes.
People who've never heard of comedy, bring them in, try to get acclimatized in the culture.
Yes.
All right. In due time, it's not happening fast enough. I agree, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me ask you about comedy milestones. It doesn't have to be something like big, I'm a grand.
Yeah.
Just something that you did in comedy that left a positive mark. Like you're like, oh, this made me feel good.
Okay. I've had a few of those.
You have a few of those.
More than a few.
Name like 2 or 3.
You see that I'm gonna tell you the problem with that question.
Tell me. What's the problem with that question? Yeah. It's such a closed-ended question. Yeah.
That it almost feels like it has to be like this thing.
It has to be a thing.
It has to be like an event or like a thing. But I feel like for me, it's just like those personal interactions of bro, like you, just whatever you're doing is dope, and I want you to keep doing it. And so if this is coming from just like a stranger, it's like this person didn't have any reason to tell you this information.
Yeah, to sell you any kind of nonsense.
Yet they did. And the reason that's like a successful moment for me is to know that the nonsense that I do has impact on real people.
Yeah. It's kind of similar to Just Those answer.
Yeah.
Having to impact and say.
Yes.
Like you move someone tells you Just Those answer. Just Those said one time she was, I think, in a supermarket.
Yeah.
A young lady walked up to her and she was like, I watch your page.
Yeah.
You really inspire me. Your work inspires me.
Nice.
Akasema, you cannot equate that to anything.
Yeah.
You cannot kill, you cannot like go on tour.
Yeah.
No amount of money you'll get paid will equate that level of.
Yes. Because I think we look at the grand things that we want to happen. We want to sell out shows and do all these big things. But if a random guy is excited to pay matatu fare for you, I think that's something that you can put a price tag on.
That's very important, yeah.
Yeah, and they take it as a privilege that please allow me to do this to you.
Yeah, allow me as a privilege, yeah.
And that's such a humbling thing for me, and I hope it never stops being that.
You also had a comedy tour, and the theme of the tour I feel like was very like close to who you are as a person.
Yeah.
I also think that's worth a mention. Tell me about comedy tour yako. How did you arrive at the title? How was the experience?
So we did a comedy tour last year. It was called A Child of the Mau Mau.
Who is this child of the Mau Mau?
It is I. It is Moa.
The young man here. Yeah.
Musu, child of the Mau Mau. How do you say Mau Mau?
Mau Mau.
Mau Mau.
Yeah.
Si Bourgeois. Si Tua.
C'est quoi?
C'est quoi?
Yeah.
C'est quoi? C'est Nakuru.
C'est Lamu.
C'est Lamu.
Lamu was a insecurity as we speak. God bless Lamu, man. I just they said who ambushed there, but anyway, it's on the news.
Yeah, so my grandfather was in the Mau Mau.
Yeah.
Technically makes me a child of the Mau Mau. And the reason it was very close to my heart is because I believe we gotta tell our stories.
Perfect. Yeah.
And no one will come and tell our stories. And we shouldn't wait for white people to come and do documentaries about the shit that we're doing. you know, which is why I'm like so proud of you for starting this podcast, because
Check it, this guy is proud of me,
yeah,
man.
and you know, we've gone for like 30 minutes and you've only asked me kana nyonga once, which is
Check it, kunyonga, we'll tackle it separately. Mama kunyonga, by the way, society is being destroyed by kunyonga, but we'll touch on that. But you too, as a child of Amo, it's like an honor to you. You're paying homage to them.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so that's just the beginning, man. We're gonna take this shit internationally.
Yeah. Tell me, who is your comedy idol?
Okay. Yeah. Sinasikia swali lingine. You just want one. Hiyo ni swali lingine open.
Yeah.
Closed-ended question.
No one has one. People have multiple. Let's do 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I will go with number 1. I will go with Patrice O'Neal.
Patrice making another entry.
Patrice O'Neal, I feel like, is one of the greatest comedians of all time.
Yeah.
And because he was just like a pure comic.
Yeah.
He was
by the way, he's the, like, if I can use this word, quintessentially, and he's the proper example of a comedian.
Yeah, I've seen clips of Patrice giving back people their money and telling them to fuck off.
Yeah, a level of confidence be like.
Yes.
Yeah.
And just being able to tell comedy that's really funny and also on the line is something that I admire about Patrice.
Oh, it's very funny, but also you're taking a few risks here and there. Okay, interesting. Yeah.
So yeah, Patrice 1000%. I know this is a very unlikely answer that you will get for the rest of the season.
Go ahead.
But I'll have to say Kevin Hart.
Yeah.
Because he has been able to figure out the business side of the game, which how funny he is debatable, but that he has been able to build something that's bigger than him.
That's a very good answer.
And play at that level is something that we should all aspire to.
That's very true.
Yeah.
If you can figure out the creative and balance it out in the business.
And you can hear it when he speaks. Like, this guy speaks the language of money. You know, like, he's the kind of guy who just throws in opportunities.
Yes. Yeah, everything has a purpose, has an angle to it.
Yeah, and he's been able to build something, and that I respect.
Yeah.
Wa mwisho, I think I'll have to say ina feel ni tie.
It's a tie?
It's a tie between Sam Morril and Shane Gillis.
Shane is really new but really funny.
Yeah. So those ones I'll be like, just for the comedy of it, just for
the newness,
the craftsmanship of the
nothing to do so much the business activity, just the craft.
And they are a testament that you could be a proper comedian and still make a decent amount of money.
Exactly.
And not chase fame, but also be really good and for real people to recognize you.
That's what I love about comedy. You can create your niche. Where you survive.
You'll have your people.
And Shane Maze has been through something. Maze, he was like casted on SNL.
Yeah.
He was supposed to join the cast when he was just blowing up. Maze, he did like a silly Asian jokes. You know this story? Got cancelled before even his career started.
Check it, Raju, ulikuwa unafaa kuanzia Monday my guy, lakini manze sasa hata wewe sioni. Sasa chakaidia.
Ana umeona tu vitu umefanya kwa mtandao.
Yeah, Shane Shane. Kuna hiyo sketch yao inaitwa Shane.
Is it wait, are you talking about tires? Am I talking about something and kids?
Yes, that one. So tires. So they got the Netflix deal because of the good work they did with the sketches. That's how profound this story is. So it's called
Gillian
Keith.
Yeah,
something.
Yeah.
So they do sketches, and they're just friends.
It's some of the funny shit.
So ni mabesh ni majamaa tu kupiga kitu. So they do it so consistently and they play at such a high level that Netflix gives them
Took notice.
like
A budget.
yes, like a proper budget, and they're like, yeah, give us a season of tires. And they shot it at their friend's dad's garage with like their friends. So yeah, I mean,
It's like even if you write the story, it's not scripted. It's like so.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, Maze. If you ever want to do comedy, Maze, start early, have fun with it.
Yeah.
Guys, like you can tell they were having so much fun on Kimik. Izo, I don't know. You cannot even tell me. They probably have like a budget and they're doing some of these skits, putting them on YouTube. You know, you don't know what someone is going through, but they were still having fun. Now, put out your work.
Yeah.
Who knew where it went, Maze?
So yeah, man. Vitu ka hizo yani ni stories zenye you can't make up.
Start comedy early if you can.
Yeah.
Start when you're 20, have fun. Because it gets to a point people are just doing comedy and no longer having fun, Maze.
Yeah.
5 years from now, Maze, what do you think the scene will be? Comedy, stand-up comedy. What do you think 5 years from now things will look like?
The scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see like maybe 5 or 10 comedians from the Nairobi scene touring globally. And of course that means that there's more eyeballs for the guys who are still around. If you're really good, then in the next 5 years you will be making serious path, from stand-up, from writing, from acting. Like there will be like serious level back. Comedy clubs, tours, all the good stuff.
All that good stuff, man.
Yeah, man.
Maina, we're about to wrap up. What do you want to tell these people? Anything you have coming up? Exciting stuff? Tell us about ComedyCulture, by the way.
Yeah, man.
I'd be remiss if I did not mention ComedyCulture. Tell us a bit how ComedyCulture came to fruition.
So hiyo inafai kwa story ya siku ingine. How tweeted tukiwa na Marcus, but you guys like that it's a proper story.
For real?
It's proper. It's fucking proper.
Alright, we'll have them back and we'll bring Marcus together.
But shout out ComedyCulture, Marcus Douglas, Jack Otis as well.
Yeah.
You can check our blog out, comedyculture.co.ke. We have shows here and there. We're turning 1 on April 9th.
Yeah, Maze, check out ComedyCulture, follow them. Follow Maina Munene as well. I think this has been a good convo, man. Thank you for making time.
Hey, I like how you say follow Maina Munene like anyone.
Check it, follow Kijana.
Take it to all the 2 people who are...
To all the 5.4. Follow us. Subscribe to this channel.
Comic Diaries.
Yeah.
It's gonna
be...
What's... Let me ask you a question. What's the dream for the pod?
So this is actually not a pod. Because which brings me to a point I wanted to say. I know the audio, a few people have mentioned the audio is not where it needs to be. So we are working to fix the audio. That's why it's not really a podcast. It's a YouTube series. But we want to get there. I want it to be a pod, something you can do long form, but just have informative conversation. Not just have convos with comedians, but even guys who are in our industry affecting and influencing the industry. Just like on a quest to seek knowledge. Just talk to different people. That's so this dope, is the seed we're planting. But it's also a place for comedy. I also want, like, if we have good audio, we can just have a space where we just kick it and guys talk. Because I feel like that's needed for stand-up comedians. People can just come and unwind, decipher what's happening in the news. Like a period where we have things happening, like for the youth, like an election, we can come give our views. So it's many different places we can go with it.
Nice.
So thank you guys for tuning in. It's been Mike One Comic Diaries. Like, subscribe, follow, share, all that nice stuff. Thank you, Maina, for coming through.
Thank you so much.
Comic Diaries, we are out.